Bonjour and welcome to French Action! Reading aloud helps you with pronunciation, it tests your fluency and rhythm, and if you do it correctly, it shows your confidence speaking the language. So it's important to do it correctly. And it's also part of your CSEC French Paper 3, the oral. And in this video, I'm sharing my tips. Vous êtes prêts? C'est parti! First of all, let's look at what most students do, which is to be avoided. As an examiner, this is what I often hear. Students stop after each word to work out the next word's pronunciation. But if you do that, you're not going to be fluent. You also have the case of students who read fast to give the impression of reading fluently, but you can't understand them because the pronunciation is incorrect. That is still not good. Many students have a tendency to pause, but they pause when there's no need for it. Very often, students are influenced by the English sound system, so when one word exists in both languages, the students tend to pronounce it the English way. And the last mistake to avoid is to ignore the liaisons. Remember, there are compulsory liaisons, forbidden liaisons, and optional ones. So you need to know at least the forbidden ones and the compulsory ones. So now I'm going to try to imitate students. Hier, Charlotte et sa copine Nicole ont décidé de passer l'après-midi au centre commercial. D'abord, elles ont pris une limonade sur la terrasse d'un café et puis elles sont allées voir un film passionnant au cinéma. What do you think of this reading? Whether you have an exam or not, I'm going to show you how to go about the reading aloud. The first thing is to read the text first, because it's going to help you understand what the text is about. So you need to have a general idea of what the text is about. Then you're going to identify the pauses. And you know the pauses come in various ways. You have commas, so definitely you're going to have to pause. But sometimes if you think that you need to work out some pronunciation, you may pause, but the thing about it is that you have to see when to pause. For example, you cannot pause between a subject and a verb. All right? So you need to make sure that when you pause, it's probably after an A. All right, an A meaning, A for a new sentence, something like that, or a connector, that will work. So when you're going to pause, you're also going to breathe, okay? So that you have enough air in your lungs so that you can continue with the reading. And that little pause that you're going to take will help you anticipate what is coming up. When you have done that, you need to identify uncommon words or words you've never come across. And the thing is, you'll have to use the French sound system to pronounce them. All right? So for example, if a word starts with an A, you cannot say A because you know that the first letter of the French alphabet is A. So don't get influenced by the English sound system. All right? Then you will focus on dialogues or anything which involves emotions. And that's why it is important to understand what you're reading. Listen to this. Quelle surprise! Je suis contente de te voir. Quelle surprise! Je suis contente de te voir. Which one do you prefer? Even if you manage to do everything so far, you cannot get top grades if you don't make liaison. I remind you that liaisons are between a consonant and a vowel. So I'm just going to show you the basic ones very quickly. Un, les, des, mon, mes, ton, tes, son, ses, il plural, elle plural, or on. So if you look at the little red sign that I put, it's just to show you that with les enfants, you need to make a liaison between the S and the E of enfant. And the sound is going to be Z, les enfants, ses amis, les actualités. With the on a regardé. So you're linking the end with the A. On a regardé les actualités. When you can do all this, then it's going to be much easier for you. So spot those little words because they are always in texts. Then, when you have done all this, you can start reading with a regular flow. Ta-ta, 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 ta-ta. And it doesn't mean that you need to go fast, but you need to have a regular flow, a regular rhythm. What we don't want to hear is ta-ta, 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 ta, ta-ta, ta-ta. We want ta-ta, 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 ta-ta with a regular flow. Okay? Here's some practice for you. So first of all, read the text to understand it. Make sure that you spot the difficult words, that you spot the liaisons, that you think about where you will pause. Just do that and see how it goes. So I have read the text, I understood the text. I think that something which might be a bit difficult is the first expression starting with the D. Then I looked at the pauses, so you can see that I have them in red. I put them there, and also I have the liaisons, so the little hyphens, so I have to remember all this. So let's try that. De temps en temps, nous allions sur la côte est de l'île pour faire du surf et visiter les grottes, car ces sorties nous permettaient d'être ensemble, surtout pendant les vacances scolaires. Nous avions toujours quelque chose à grignoter et nous écoutions de la musique avant de rentrer à la maison, ce qui nous faisait souvent arriver la nuit. Okay, let's try the reading, and I'm going to increase the speed a little bit to sound a little bit more natural. De temps en temps, nous allions sur la côte est de l'île pour faire du surf et visiter les grottes, car ces sorties nous permettaient d'être ensemble, surtout pendant les vacances scolaires. Nous avions toujours quelque chose à grignoter et nous écoutions de la musique avant de rentrer à la maison, ce qui nous faisait souvent arriver la nuit. Let's recap. When reading aloud, you need to remember uncommon words, look at them and try to see how you can pronounce them. Pauses, where are you going to pause in your text? Spot the liaisons, are there the compulsory ones and also the forbidden ones, especially with ET. ET is a forbidden one. And am I going to read with emotion? And if I'm going to do that, I need to see where I would need to think about emotion. Now it's your turn to practice. I hope you have found this video useful. Please like it, share it, and don't forget to subscribe. Au revoir!